What's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech, and I have been solo mining DigiByte on the SHA-256 algorithm with some of my smaller scale miners. We're talking about 3 Canaan products, the Mini 3, the Nano 3S, and then the original Nano 3, as well as 2 Bitaxes, 1 NerdAxe, and then a Nerd QX++. And I did hit a few blocks, but is it profitable or should I just be pool mining? Well, some of you already commented on my previous videos or post where I showed that I hit a block, and you can see over the past 2 weeks we hit a couple of them, right? Quite a few blocks, but we did orphan 3 of them out of everything here. So let's all add it up and see what exactly is going on. Well, overall I hit what was it, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 blocks with just a Canaan setup. My Canaan miners, just so you know, are on Cryptix pool mining DigiByte, but my smaller scale miner, especially my NerdAxe, because these pools can't see these smaller hash rate devices, right? It might not show, it might not submit shares well enough, and then the miner itself, the NerdAxe and the smaller Bitaxes with the 500 gigahash or anything under 1 terahash just won't show at the pool, and it won't work. Those are on Retro Mike's pool, and that's how I like it, to be honest. But the Canaan devices hit those blocks that I just read off to you. That's around 2100 DigiByte over the past 2 weeks, or $22.55. And then my NerdAxe and my smaller miners, the Bitaxes and the Nerd QX, was only able to hit 2 blocks. And it was actually the Nerd QX that hit the blocks. Basically, a couple days after I turned it on and had it on the network, on May 5th and May 6th. By the time you're watching this, probably the end of May. But the point still stands. So these smaller miners just aren't hitting blocks as well as, you know, something, for example, the Mini has about 40 to 38 terahash compared to my highest hitter, the Nerd QX, around 5 terahash. They're thereabouts. So I'm putting all my small miners on Retro Mike to give it the best chance, and I'm putting my bigger miners on Cryptix pool, which is higher up on the DigiByte hash rate. Well, if we look at the profitability of it, right, the Mini 3 on average at 15 cents per kilowatt hour, and we're not going to include electricity just yet. You can calculate that at the end, but $2.33 a day is the revenue for the Mini 3. Basically 230, 235, something like that. I think before the recent uptick, if we zoom up here or scroll up, you can see there's been an uptick in profitability. Obviously, the overall cryptocurrency network has boosted up in profitability or in price action. So we probably jumped into the $2, but we probably are more around like the $1.90 when I first started before the recent pump up. And then on the Nano 3s, you know, we're averaging only 37, maybe 35 cents on the 3S, and then 25 to 22 cents on the Nano 3. And I added all of those up, right? And so that comes out to be, over 14 days, $41.44. That's, again, without counting the cost of electricity, because if we add that in there, we're really negative 13 cents on the 3S and negative 26 cents on the original 3. And on the Mini, we're negative 50 cents, right? So we're just adding up all the revenue, and then if you minus out, you're still negative. But my question to you is, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the fiat, or are you focusing on the cryptocurrency that you're earning? Because you can always convert DigiByte to Bitcoin or whatever you were mining to Bitcoin, or you could be focusing and pool mining on DigiByte and just hanging on to that, whatever you want. Moving over to the Bitaxes, you know, right now the 601 or the 1.2 terahash is only making 7 cents a day when I have the electricity set at 0. Right now, that's exactly what I have it set at. But if we change that to 15 cents per kilowatt hour, the U.S. national average, we're at 1 cent a day. And that does play into, you know, the overall effect. So 1 cent a day, if we calculate electricity, but I didn't, versus, you know, the original of around 15, maybe 10 cent a day, if we get up there. So 7 to 10 cents without electricity. On the Nerd QX, 27 cents. Add it all up. What am I making in fiat terms? Well, that's going to be $5.74. The difference here is pool mining versus solo mining. And solo mining can yield better results, but that's the luck. You're going to luck out, which is what's happening right now on week 3. So I'm just wanting to focus on the first 2 weeks of solo mining. What did I make overall? Well, if we look at what I've accumulated overall, which is around 2,700 DigiByte, that's around $29.06. At the time, or the spike up that we had recently, because you can see, again, the crypto market has been pumping, a little bit over 30 something bucks. However, if we were to focus on pool mining, overall, we would have made $41.44. So yes, I'm sitting around 30 bucks and some change solo mining with my Canaan devices and my, NerdAxe, Bitaxe, and NerdQX, but I lost $10 in fiat if that's what I am focusing on. And additionally, you can earn more with pool mining if the pool can see your miners, and that's the catch-22. That's one of the reasons why I did a test of trying to proxy mine and combine all the smaller guys together to focus on, focus its energy on one sector and submit that to the pool. But I was bumping into a lot of issues with the pool, and it wouldn't see it. I was submitting low difficulty shares. It's a lot of tweaking and tuning that you need to do with that. I would talk about that in a upcoming video or a future video, but the point of this one is just to tell you that solo mining has a chance to be equal to or greater than pool mining, but right now it's not. I'm making $10 less in fiat. I'm still earning DigiByte, but my luck has changed. While I was doing good at the beginning of May, right? As soon as I put the NerdAxe, 48 hours, not even, I was hitting blocks. I posted it on Twitter and stuff like that, and I was doing good on Cryptex pools. I did hit a double block, right, on the 9th, or where was it? Yeah, I hit a double block on the 9th, but then I haven't hit anything for the past 48 hours. And then you can see my last block before the 9th was the 5th. So it's not the luck of the draw is not going my way, and I am not getting blocked. So your best bet, a lot of people will say, is just to pool mine. But others would argue you're wasting your time. You should just solo mine Bitcoin because the reward is so much greater. But the chances of you hitting a Bitcoin block, and I know many of us have Bitaxes and some of these, micro miners or lottery miners, even the large scale mini, which is 40 terahash. That's not little bitty hash rate. It's little in the grand scheme of the overall network hash rate, but that's not little hash rate. And we've seen people hit Bitcoin blocks with a Bitaxe, hit Bitcoin blocks with a future bit Apollo, which is only 5 to 7 terahash. So it is out there, but don't get your hopes up and have your expectation of, I'm going to hit a Bitcoin block. I'm going to have 200,000 plus in my pocket and I'll be good. That's a risk that you need to understand and manage your risk tolerance and manage your expectations so that way you're not let down. But right now, if you had all of these miners, your best bet is to pool mine, right? Combine them into one if you can through proxy mining. If not, pool mine to a pool that can see your miners. If you put your miners on these pools and they are not showing up even after hours of waiting, then that pool is not going to see your small hash rate. If it's less than 1 terahash or less than a certain amount of terahash, and that pool is not going to like it, it's not going to see it, it's not going to show up, your best bet is to mine through your own node or to proxy mine. Retro Mike does a lot of great videos on setting up your own node and mining through it. But if you can pool mine, accumulate, right? We would have accumulated $41 over the past 2 weeks, and now we can convert that into Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever the heck we want. Or you can mine on certain pools that allow you to auto exchange, right? You mine and then you auto exchange into the currency you want to get paid out in, like Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, whatever it might be. But I wanted to show you the data. So again, just to recap, over the past 2 weeks, I've hit 9 blocks total between all my devices, from the Canaan series, the Mini 3, the Nano 3S, and Nano Original, the Bitaxe ×2, the NerdAxe, and the NerdQX, and I've made only $30-something, $29. But if I were pool mining, I would have made $41 that I then could convert into a currency of my choice. My other option here is that I can get it to join me on Luxor, or the Lux pool, right? Where I'm mining with my S19K Pros, and that little increments, it might be a couple Satoshis here and there, but those little increments to help boost, to help me get to a payout quicker, right? $41 over 2 weeks on top of what my S19K Pros are doing will help me get to my payout achievements a lot quicker, and I get more frequent payments. But again, managing expectations and understanding that now that you're not solo mining, you're never going to have that chance at a Bitcoin block. So is that something you want to do? I know a lot of you would just be like, no, I'm just going to leave it on Bitcoin, solo mining Bitcoin, and just let it eat electricity, never get a payment, never help me cover my electricity bill. Because as I said, you know, these miners, you know, are killing you in as far as electricity, right? 17 watts isn't a lot. We overclock them 22, 23 watts. That's not a lot. So if you had a few of these, that wouldn't be anything that I would complain about, to be completely honest. But, you know, electricity cost is negligible on this one, and even on the Nerd QX. But when you start talking about the Canaan type of devices, yeah, that can add up. So it's 15 cents per kilowatt hour. That's basically 27 cents a day. You're making 27 cents, but you're losing 27 cents. So you're negative. You're negative, right? Or after a month, 7 cents. So it's still negligible in the grand scheme of things. And then the Bitaxes, 1.2 terahash or the 601 chip. The 601 model with the BM1370 ASIC chip. So 6 cents a day, but you're making 7 cents in profit. So it's 1 cent profit basically. And then $1.88 a month. So again, negligible. But when you start talking about these guys, negative 13 cents, negative 26 cents, negative 50 cents, 55 cents. Yeah, it can add up. But you're just basically running these miners, paying and eating the cost of electricity for the chance of hitting a Bitcoin block that may never come or could come and change your life. That's why they're called lottery miners. There's just no guarantee, and you just need to manage your expectations. So that's the data for solo mining for 2 weeks. What would I have made if I were pool mining instead of solo mining? $10 fiat, not a big deal. I still got some DigiByte. I got something instead of nothing, but a lot of hardcore people, and even myself, the future bit Apollo, is solo mining Bitcoin. I'm kind of diversified. Some are solo mining this, some are solo mining that, some are pool mining this, and some are pool mining that. Trying to diversify and spread out my weight and try to see where my areas of opportunities are to win blocks, win chances, accumulate more cryptocurrency of a number of different currencies. Like the Jazz miner is mining Ethereum Classic, but I'm getting paid in Solana. That looks like a good play because Solana has been pumping recently, and it's pumped comparatively to when I started way back in the day. But let me know what your thoughts are on the way out. Hit that like button, get subscribed, hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out additional links in the description that will support the channel and what we do here. And I hope you have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. I'll catch you next one.